Welcome to this introduction video on Blue Demon's E71T-GS flux cord electrode. In this video, we will discuss some of the details of this electrode, some safety concerns and how to deal with them, and a short demonstration of the product. From this point forward, I'll abbreviate E71T-GS to just E71. E71 is used in the flux cord arc welding process for welding carbon steels. What makes FCAW so appealing is that the wire is self-shielded, hence no shielding gas or tanks are needed for this process. Also, because the shielding gas isn't needed for E71, is perfect for welding outside or in windy conditions. Also, it's a great use for small portable 120-volt welding machines. One of the first questions you may have about this product: what do the letters and numbers mean? Filler metals are manufactured into different forms and classified into different categories. In our case, the classification is E, which stands for electrode. Other classifications could include ER for electrode or rod, R for rod, or B for brazing, just to name a few. Electrode simply means the filler metal carries the welding current in the process. Adversely, a rod doesn't carry the welding current and is heated by another source. Next, we take the first number, which in our case is 7. This is the tensile strength of the filler metal given in pounds per square inch, or PSI. You can take the 7 and multiply it by 10,000, thus giving you 70,000 PSI of tensile strength. In the third position, we have a 1. This position indicates the welding position the electrode is used in. A 1 would indicate the electrode can be used in all positions, and a 0 would indicate flat and horizontal only positions. The fourth position is a T, which designates the electrode as tubular or flux cord. And finally, the last two letters, GS. The G designates the shielding gas, polarity, and impact properties are not specified, so the electrode wire is of general usage. The S denotes that the electrode is suitable for only single pass welding. Welding with flux cord wire has several advantages. E71 has a smooth arc action, low spatter, full slag coverage, and has easy slag removal. Other advantages are a higher deposit rate, narrow groove angles, minimum pre-cleaning, high quality, and excellent weld pool control. In reference to minimum pre-cleaning, flux cord wire has high levels of deoxidizers and other fluxing agents that produce high quality welds over a non-prepped surface, such as mill scale, rust, or other surface oxides. Some of the common uses of E71 are lap and butt welds on galvanized sheet metal, repair of automotive sheet metal, tanks, and farm implement repairs. Check out Blue Demon's website for more product details and instruction on using E71. Let's stop here for just a moment before I begin the demonstration portion. We need to talk about safety. The welding process can produce harmful light, fumes, sparks, and flying slag, just to name a few. You should always wear the proper clothing and safety gear while welding. This includes, but is certainly not limited to, a welding hood, welding jacket or long sleeve shirt. I would suggest cotton or wool, as synthetic materials may melt to your skin. Next, select a proper thickness of gloves, ear protection, and safety glasses. One should always wear eye protection during the welding process. Here's a tip. Many welders will wear a small respirator, like the one seen here. It filters out some of the harmful things floating in the air. The other thing it does is direct the hot air you breathe down and out of your hood. If you've ever welded before, you know the lens can become so fogged you can't see anything. Other safety concerns exist in your shop. You will want your welding area to be free of flammable materials, such as shop rags or paper towels. You should keep flammable or combustible liquids properly stored away from any source of heat or sparks. Because of the high risk of fire, you'll want to keep a fire extinguisher close by. Also, you'll want to check all electrical cords and cables periodically. You don't want any frayed or exposed wires. Next, you want to make sure all cylinders are secured properly while in use or in storage. Now that we've covered the safety portion, I'll set up a few test coupons and run a few beads. Today, I'll be using Blue Demon's 140 MSTI. This is an inverter style machine that runs on a standard 120 volt outlet. This unit is also referred to as a multi-process welder, which means it can run using multiple welding processes. During this demonstration, I'll provide some general welding tips and tricks I use in the shop. When welding, you want to make the best weld you can, so you want to be as comfortable as you can get. You should attempt to find something to rest or prop your hand or arm against to make the task a little easier. For example, attach a C-clamp to your part you're welding or your welding table to brace yourself. Anytime I'm going to weld, I always find a scrap piece of steel to pad beads on. This gets my hand-eye coordination back in sync so I can run the best bead that I can. I'm not a welder by trade, so I really need all the help I can get. Things I work on when padding beads are electrode or torch angle, travel speed, distance from workpiece to electrode, heat or amperage selection, and if I need any type of electrode manipulation. Next, make a few dry runs. What are dry runs, you ask? This is when you go through the motions of welding, but you're not actually welding. This will ensure you can complete your weld and nothing is in your way. When MIG welding, you need a small gap between the workpiece and the tip of the MIG gun. This gap is known as contact tip to work distance, or CTWD. If you're new to welding, start out with a CTWD between 1/4 and 3/8 of an inch. This will get you in the ballpark. Pushing or pulling of the MIG gun is a discussion in itself, which would take an entire video to cover. I would like to say you should choose what works best for you, and if your task requires one technique over the other. If you're using a self-shielding filler metal like E71, you will need to pull or drag the MIG gun. This is due to the wire having a flux core for shielding the weld pool. Always remember this: if you have slag, you must drag. My last tip is one that can apply to MIG or TIG welding. It's the 3 C's of welding: clean, clean, clean. Keep your metal clean as possible. You will want to clean all the oils, paints, rust, etc. off of your steel before welding. This is particularly important for the TIG process. When TIG welding, you'll want to take extreme measures to ensure all parts are clean. When I'm welding important items, I use acetone to clean everything before welding, especially the filler metal and tungsten. I really appreciate you spending your time with me today, and please remember Blue Demon for all your welding needs. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.